He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn. And
Katt Williams once warned us, in 2024, secrets buried deep in the music industry would finally be unearthed. His prediction, that Diddy's name would be at the center of it all. Now, as shocking rumors emerge, fans are connecting the dots Katt tried to expose years ago. And if you think you know everything already, think again. The final name on this list might just leave you speechless. Let's start with what's already been publicly discussed. Usher. Back when Usher was just a teen, he lived with Diddy in New York City, something he spoke about on the Howard Stern show. Usher didn't go into explicit detail, but he did describe the situation as, well, curious. The living arrangement, the lifestyle, the parties, everything suggested there was more going on behind the scenes. And let's not forget, Usher helped introduce Justin Bieber to Diddy.
We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So.
Speaking of Justin, as his career exploded, his early days with Diddy became part of the story. Justin, only 13 when he started hanging around Diddy, once appeared in a video where Diddy boasted, 48 hours with Diddy. What we're doing we can't really disclose. Over time, Bieber's music began to reflect a darker reality. In his song, Lonely, he admits, everybody saw me sick and it felt like no one cared.
I just wanted to be a good example. And it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they loved me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
In 2020, an emotional clip of Bieber resurfaced where he shared just how tough his early fame really was. Everyone told me they loved me and turned their back on me in a second. I just want to protect her, referring to his wife. I don't want her to go through what I did. According to reports, Bieber has started opening up privately about his past with Diddy, though he hasn't made a public statement. One insider said, reliving that friendship is the last thing Justin wants to do. Now, onto Meek Mill. He's been linked to Diddy through multiple reports, especially after Diddy's arrest on September 16th. That's when a now infamous audio clip resurfaced online, one allegedly featuring Meek and Diddy in an intimate situation. Originally tied to a lawsuit by Rodney Jones. Jones's claims that Diddy admitted to being involved with a Philadelphia rapper who had dated Nicki Minaj and an R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl. All signs seem to point to Meek. In response, Meek publicly addressed the rumors, saying, "They really messed with these devices," and asserting, "I'm not with them." He added, "They want my voice silenced worldwide. I'm a real king from the trenches." Kevin Hart is another big name who's been indirectly tied to Diddy's infamous private parties. While Hart has stayed relatively quiet, footage exists of him holding a mic at one of Diddy's parties, hyping up the crowd. When asked about those gatherings later, Hart avoided answering directly. It raised eyebrows. Why dodge the question if there's nothing to hide?
He used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
What the f did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid.
Then there's YK Osiris, who became the subject of online speculation after being spotted vacationing in Jamaica, where Diddy also happened to be. On The Breakfast Club, when asked about it, Osiris laughed and deflected, eventually admitting he was on the island, but denied any connection beyond coincidence.
I was in Jamaica with him.
Oh, I see it now.
See?
YK Osiris in Jamaica with his alleged boo Diddy.
See?
Can we talk about Diddy new boy toy YK Osiris? Why you did this to Diddy, man? It's messed up, man.
Nah,
Why you even bring that up, Envy?
Still, fans weren't convinced. Why avoid confirming the nature of the trip if it was completely innocent? And finally, let's talk about Mace. The former Bad Boy artist has had a long and complicated history with Diddy. When asked recently how he felt about the swirling accusations, Mace said, "I'm saving my takes for the documentary. It's coming soon." It seems Mace is waiting for the right time to tell his full story. And judging by the industry buzz, that moment might be sooner than later. Katt Williams was one of the first to speak publicly about all of this. In a past interview, he said he'd turned down $30 million. Not once, but 4 times. Because, in his words, Diddy be wanting the body and you gotta tell him no. As more people come forward, the big question remains: how far was Diddy willing to go to maintain control? And will more names continue to surface? Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this the beginning of Diddy's downfall? Or just the tip of the iceberg?